Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Kings of Media Dungeons and Dingnuts. Today we are doing part 2 of the last episode. So, last that I remember leaving off, Burning Whisper kind of tried to fly a ship.
I was pouty.
Didn't work. And we are
stopped me
rowing away
very quickly.
But the DM might
We're
have...
no longer rowing away.
Yeah, the DM might have more things.
You're now flying away uncontrollably.
You just got flung somewhere. Let's find out which way you went.
Alright.
And you want to know the best part of this? I don't know the answer. Let's roll this D12 and see which direction you get flung.
I'll drink to that.
Alright. Alright. You get flung off in a 45-degree angle. Straight upward. 45-degree angle. Eli, would you like to roll? Could you roll a D4 for me, please? 4 is the direction that the island that you're targeting is in.
Hey, Eli, roll a 4.
Roll a 4.
No, that's not in there. That's a 4 though.
We take it.
We counting that?
Yes.
No, I don't count it in those.
No, dude.
It's a 1.
You're going the opposite direction.
Dude! Further away from the island.
Further, as far away from the island as you can physically be flung.
Perfect.
Straight over the land that you are.
Like onto land?
You started roughly close to an island in the water over here, and there's an island in the sky over here. You were over here. You got flung over here.
So it's just gonna hit water.
No, you're gonna fall on the island, the stationary real island. That's not one of the Dragon Sea ones.
Oh, that's where I wanted to go. I thought that's where the 4 was. Okay.
Just
Oh.
everyone, stay close to me.
Huh?
Stay close.
Can I use my speech weapon like Thor's hammer?
I'm sorry, I got left behind.
No.
I'm gonna just while in the rowboat. I hope this works. I hope this works. Ubatu! And get my boat to extend.
So you realize you're going to fall onto land, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I see what's going on.
All right, you are now all on your boat.
Try to get that thing airborne again.
It can't fly on its own. It requires the gravitational help.
But the
But
surge.
currently, yes. So the squall currently. So, quick description of what's going on. None of you, except for Flint, have ever seen one of these things before. It's like everything, like the ground and the sky seem to have decided to fight over their boundaries right now. Like normally, it's clear like over here, all the things are on the ground and staying over here, and up here is the sky, and nothing's in it. Suddenly, things are like floating up into the sky. Anything that is not hammered down could be floating somewhere or could be flying in a random direction. Water is broken off into little droplets and currents, like just moving through the sky in really chaotic, weird patterns. And
That's pretty sick.
Sometimes like shockingly beautiful, but at the same time absolutely terrifying, because you know the laws of physics should not ever allow something that looked like this to ever happen.
You know physics.
I do actually.
You guys are currently being thrown in a roughly straight path. There are other things that are not. The boat that was currently tipping has now been broken into 3 separate pieces and are all flying in different directions. People are being flung around as well. Esmeralda appears to be skirting the edge of it, just barely managing to keep her ship under control. So she's doing fine, but only somewhat.
Can we fix that?
And the other islands, like the crowded islands around here, are also getting flung around in random things. So you are now airborne. The squall is going over there. This is some of the roughest stuff that you've ever sailed.
Yeah, I'm just like, Captain Zephyr, please help me here, guide me. So I'm just gonna try to like ride as much of it to soften the land and everything. Just.
All right. So, where are you headed? What is your goal with this?
I just want us not to absolutely destroy my brand new boat and have another happy landing. Whether it's on the land, safe, or like in the water, just somewhere where the boat doesn't get destroyed and we're alive. Or we're like floating through the storm.
Alright, cool. So, make me a sailing check. You may use your water vehicle's proficiency for
I'm
this.
messed up.
Shut up. Shut up.
You already used that.
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, you have advantage to use still?
Well, I can't silver bars myself, but what's my proficiency bonus right now?
Silver barbs
3, okay.
me doing a strength check, and then give yourself a
12.
and then
You are trying to sail this thing, but like the turbulence is like you're trying to sail it like in a roughly straight pattern, like get yourself over there. But like as the turbulence goes, like you are now like you're going all sorts of chaotic directions. You feel the ship like ready to tear itself apart.
Qskv, steady me right now. I need your help.
I guess I just hold.
Kind of like the turbulence is just moving me. Like, help me, and we will live.
I'm just holding him still, I guess. Do I make a check for that? Like athletics?
Sure.
Alright. That's a 13. Yeah.
13. All right, you're trying to hold him steady, but like this entire thing is getting like rattling like crazy. I need everyone to make me an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Athletics, including Galti, right?
not 20.
All right, you're fine.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, you're fine.
9.
Do acrobatics.
Nice. All right.
That means no in German.
Yeah,
15
that ain't good.
for Duger.
Try help with my
And Galti gets a 16 for athletics.
Man!
All right.
Well,
Don't worry, Finn, I think we.
All right. So I think now would be a good time for me to give you a couple of stats about your boat.
Oh.
Your boat has 100 HP. If it gets to half health, it is no longer watertight and requires constant bailing to keep it afloat. And it costs to restore HP. You must do repairs to it. It will not ever restore on its own. And so, who got the lowest? You.
I got a 9.
All right.
Bye, guys. I'm leaving.
Yeah. Q starts falling and rolling like falling and like starts gets falling, and then as he's falling backwards,
Sorry,
falls into a gravity current and starts getting pulled upward.
Duger, what was your save?
Because I got a natural
15?
I tried to grab.
I will
Galti
allow
got
it,
16.
but be aware, if you fail, you will be brought with him.
I'm heavier than you.
Can I do something really stupid?
Oh, absolutely.
You may potentially do something really stupid. By the way, the boat is going to take 11 damage from the turbulence.
Okay. I'm going to sacrifice myself for Qskv, and I have a thing
Well,
of helping people.
If you would like to do something, you may do it first, and then because you got a nat 20, then you may do it.
Oh, I'm gonna do it, alright. I'm gonna save Qskv. Grudgingly.
Hey.
Athletics.
Athletics. That's a 18.
All right. You reach out and like grab him by the wrist, and just barely like grabbing onto the railing, manage to hold on there. Like you're Captain
I'm
America.
Captain
in this
America.
thing. Like hold on to him, and then your fingers start to slip. One of your fingers falls off of it, then another, and then suddenly a gravity surge shoves you downward, and like both of you crash hard onto the deck, but you're both on.
How
it.
much damage do I deal with?
All right. So, Eli, what would you like to do? The ship is still continuing to it's tearing itself apart.
How close are we to land?
Not even close. You're going higher and higher at every moment.
And there's no islands nearby.
Roll me a search check, perception check,
Perception.
Just,
or investigate.
is just the boat itself just being there is taking damage just because it's there?
It's-
or because he's trying to control it?
It's not that it's being there; it's that it's being pulled by multiple gravity
That's what
currents in
I'm
different
saying.
directions. So
It's not because of the fact he's trying to control it.
No,
It's just
it's
because
just that he can't
naturally.
he isn't successfully controlling it to a place where only one or two forces are pulling at it at a time. Too many are trying to yank it apart.
14.
14. As you look around, there are several islands close enough that you could attempt to try to get toward them. It would be very difficult, but you could do so.
Need to lighten the boat.
It's just our rowboat still is on the top of this boat that we originally were in.
Well, the rowboat's part of this boat, technically.
Yeah, just like, okay, get back in the rowboat, everyone.
What?
Get back in the rowboat.
Meanwhile, Duger, as you're looking over at this thing, you've never seen this before, but as you're watching, you start noticing patterns, like these things are flowing in ways similar to natural magic while they're in there. Like, as you're watching, the gravity squalls don't, like, you're watching and the chaos of it starts to click as you're looking out over it. It looks actually shockingly similar to like some of your experiments when you were working with Galti and you couldn't get the power to properly flow. Like, it would build up and explode. And you know that those explosions actually have a pattern. They're not just random things. And as you look out, you see a pattern very similar.
Can I try and
Magic physics.
guide Flynn and be like, hey, I see a pattern to the way that the storm goes because of the magic.
You may indeed do that if you wish.
Flynn, I see a pattern. Let me guide you. And I'm just gonna start like kind of pointing out the patterns, telling him where maybe to avoid, like what's gonna flare up and what's not gonna flare up, and like trying to steer him in a clear direction.
All right. I need you to make an Arcana check to determine the DC that we're going to be going with. And I need you to make a sailing check to see if you can do that.
Does that mean
Can I
guidance?
pray for guidance?
You are currently not close enough to be touching them, and I believe it has range of touch. Does it not?
I'll
Okay.
check.
You've been
If
rolling
it
this.
doesn't, then you may pray for one.
Dirty 20.
30-20. All right.
Arcana?
That's not a good thing.
Range, touch.
All right.
10.
10. All right. And you said you got a
rolled
dirty
a
20.
2.
Would you like to know how I calculated the DC for this one?
Yes.
30 minus whatever you rolled.
Oh,
That's great.
so you didn't pass.
So 30 minus 10 is 20.
Oh, so he did get 20.
I got a dirty
And
20.
he got a dirty 20.
Oh my gosh.
This session, I swear, everyone is
more
either perfect or hitting by one.
Is with us, brother.
All right. So you are swinging this thing over, like spinning, like you're like Duger has an uncanny knowledge of like where the things are going to go. You've never seen anyone be capable of predicting a squall before, but like as he points out, watch out over there as the gravity well is about to like burst up, like, and you avoid it. It does right then, like stuff fly, like a channel of water flies up over there. He points out another one, a current that will start leading you towards the outskirts. You start following that through. It's rough. Your boat takes 2 more damage.
Okay, not good, but it's.
But like as you get further out, you feel like that like it gets weaker and weaker, and then suddenly like you fall into like Duger just like points you out and like to like bear with the course, and you seem to be stuck in a gravity current that is just going in a straight circle.
Is it a safe straight circle?
It is currently a safe straight circle. For the moment, it doesn't lead anything for a collision, and nothing seems to be like nothing's beyond it, and nothing appears to be doing anything more than joining into it.
I'm just gonna ride this current and see. Like, Duger, can I get the boat to the point where it will start to like sky sail now?
If you can get yourself into an actual current, you are relatively like you're a little ways off from a true main current, but you could probably hop onto one of the islands and sky sail like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. Just kind of try to get onto one of the islands.
Gravity slingshot.
Yeah, just grab a slingshot and try to get back onto a actual current and somewhere away from it. Duger, guide me away from the squalls and somewhere safe where we can ride out of here.
Yes, sir. And I'm gonna try and.
All right, you guys are doing that. You feel like you're getting a pretty decent thing. You have a target. After I finish saying this, okay. When you notice that Esmeralda, who was on the edge to start off, appears to also be in this current, and she appears to be in hot pursuit. She has enough crew members on it that a fight with them would be extremely difficult, and you don't know what she's capable of, but she's proven that she can use magic and shoot very far.
We sink them.
You do not.
We don't have cannons.
They do.
This was a trading vessel.
They do have cannons.
That was my question.
All right.
Full.
This is a trading vessel. I told you I wasn't a pirate.
Oh no.
I sacrifice my die.
One of you.
Perfect.
We are going to do another one of those skill contests, similar to when he was attempting to escape from the place.
That was awesome.
Esmeralda I will roll for Esmeralda into one of the eyes. Flynn, as the captain, will roll into the other one.
Well, if you mess us up, you're not gonna be our captain.
First one to get to
can't
3
fight.
success. First one to win 3 will win.
Does praying help him here?
Yes, it can.
Oh!
If you succeed, then you escape and probably get to where you want to go. If Esmeralda wins, your ship will be crippled and you will be captured.
Oh, Captain's
Your captain's not an option.
All right. So tell me what you want to do, and then we will say, and I will say what skills are involved.
Drift.
I don't know. I just want to try to slingshot, get the gravity squall and the orbit enough to really slingshot us to the next island to like boost and pick up speed.
All right. Roll me a sailing check.
Captain's everything.
By the way, you can't use the same skill twice, so this will be your only sailing check.
My first one was a 19. But not.
All right, 19 plus 4 plus your modifier.
7.
So grand total.
19, 21 is
30.
Yeah, 30.
Yeah, 30.
All right, one success for you all. You guys swing off and just like big hold on, and you guys launch over. And for a moment, you are in just like you're flying, but you have nothing supporting you. Like you start falling in free fall, and then you land in the gravity current of the next island. You are not completely out of the squall. There are still things going on around here, but like you're safely in the islands area.
Okay.
Esmeralda attempts to follow over, but doesn't make it go for a jump, and instead goes over and starts circling in a different channel that you guys can't see very well.
It is magical fire.
The second time, I'm gonna try to. I don't like to deceive people. It's not my thing. But I'm gonna pull the Boba Fett and use the anchor onto the side of the island and just hide behind it to try to kind of like lose her.
All right. Roll deception check.
I'll drink to that.
You get this one. Oh.
You attempt to hide behind the island, and as you do, you see like suddenly the squall like bursts up again and starts moving around. The squall is now moving, and as you go through, Esmeralda barely manages to avoid capsizing, but then comes around and is now straight on your tail again. 1-1.
Bad choice, bro.
Well, it was a bad roll.
No, this is
You
great.
are
I'm
pulling the
enjoying
ship,
myself.
so.
This is good.
Oh my gosh, I hate you. I'm throwing you overboard.
If
Can
any
I-
of you guys would like to do
I
something,
was
you
just
may
about to
instead
ask.
make a do.
Can I make some sort of
How far away are they?
perception check and
We'll say 200 feet.
More
perception
than
check to see for any like ideas or things around me that could help us?
You can roll, and I will tell you information about what's around you. You will have to come up with the idea.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Can I just try and
Tell me
hit
what's
someone
wrong.
on deck?
That's it. 18 plus perception 0. 18.
18. All right. So as you're looking around, the squall is like it's just chaos. You can't follow anything about what's going on over there.
That's fine.
What you are noticing is that the islands, like as you've been traveling, like you've noticed that islands tend to head in the same general route. Like they'll curve and like cross paths and things like that, but like they tend to circle in the same direction. As you're looking over, you see that there are several more islands that are going to come very close, possibly even in a collision course, or at the very least a very close one. You also notice that below there appears to be a group of like wyverns gathering for something. They appear to have been attracted by either the squall or something else. And the last thing you notice is that the water below is extremely choppy and broken, which means that if you fell into it, it probably wouldn't kill you, but it might drown you soon afterward.
Okay.
That is the information I can give you for an 18. Thank you.
Finn! Look! We can lose him right between those two islands!
Burning Whisper, your imagination never ceases to amaze me. Just gonna. We're gonna try more stupid stuff here today.
Yes!
Try more stupid stuff.
Duger, where's the next squall? I'm going to try to expertly weave my way near the squall to get her to like follow to where she would hit it and it would explode, and still go through the two islands. Ours is a smaller vessel, isn't it?
They're roughly the same size.
Okay.
But theirs is more heavily armed and made for combat. Like, it would be more durable. It's made out of more mithril than wood at this point.
But theoretically slower and more cumbersome.
It's the same size, so it's about the same speed. Mithril is a lot lighter than
Oh, that's right.
That's why they use it for these things.
Okay,
That makes sense.
everyone, I'm doing something stupid. Get in the rowboat. I'm just gonna try to navigate by the squall and through the two islands.
All right.
Run, I bless the man!
What kind of a check would this be?
I get into the
It's a
rowboat.
lot.
This is going to be a precision check. You can use your sailing thing, but it's a dexterity check instead of an intelligence one.
Okay.
What kind of a check would it be for her to follow y'all?
Probably the same kind of thing, right?
Survival?
Probably about the same thing, yeah.
That's an 11 for her. 16 plus
2 plus
3.
7 plus 3.
What's Esmeralda's modifiers? Alright. When you have your result, let me know.
Because it was 16. You said dexterity, right?
Yep.
16. 17, 19, 22, 22,
8.
24.
8. Oh, right. Second success for y'all. As you go over, so describe what happens, please.
So we're gonna try to like come really close to that squall. I'm like, Duger, how close am I to hitting it? Duger!
You were...
Duger! How close are we to hitting the squall?
How close are we to hitting the squall? Very close!
I'm gonna pull away from it really sharply and then try to weave straight through those two islands. Yeah, and just weave through those islands there.
All right, you go straight, but like you
That's the
swing
last
over,
option.
You're like Esmeralda, like takes the advantage of the opportunity, starts coming in really close. Like she gets like close enough that like you're gonna be at cannon range very, very soon. And then you just barely weave, like you weave into the thing. Right as she takes a shot, and it crashes into the stone next to you. You barely dodge, and then the islands like come closer and closer. Now Esmeralda, like as she goes in, it just barely clips one of them. Like she starts, and like she gets knocked out of its gravity field and falls down, but just barely rights itself before actually like completely capsizing.
So are we safe?
You're ahead.
Just
But now it is my turn to take it.
This is where we Fortnite dance and skedaddle out of here.
Not
Could
yet.
I actually, before our action ends, can I just take a pop shot as Ronaldo on the deck?
You have no chance of hitting. Like in this sort
She's
of
following
with
down.
the gravity squall messing things
Red
up,
arrow?
plus the fast movement, plus the long distance. There's not a chance that you could get this. Like you'd have to roll 2 nat 20s in a row to get out any chance.
That's not a bad chance.
That's 1 in 400.
You want to take a shot? Okay, go ahead. If you roll poorly, I may give consequences also.
Do it.
Mama didn't raise no wood.
The lower one, please.
4?
You take a shot and somehow manage to hit your own ship. No damage to it, but like.
I'll fix it later!
Alright. Esmeralda manages to steer her ship down to the water below. She's now a good 100 feet below you guys, but she is now appears to be mostly out of the squall, which has moved upward, and on steady waters. She's going to then take a shot at you with the cannons.
Oh.
Evasive maneuvers, shooting.
I say
Perfect.
miss.
I want to make it as difficult as I can for her, and this is why I said get in the rowboat. I'm gonna make the target as small as possible. Ubwatu.
You're on the thingy in a rowboat? We're just gonna...
Alright, so you can't steer the rowboat. You
Nope.
steer by push. Okay, cool.
I
I will
said I'm gonna do
take
something
that
stupid.
into account when calculating what I add.
She was
But
aiming
you don't
for.
get to
gonna
roll.
die.
You no
And
longer
I'm-
get to roll evasive maneuvers.
She
I'm
was
absolutely praying for us, though. Is it?
Nope. This is now her shooting.
It's now in God's hands.
That is not great, but
I made her target smaller. She was aiming for one thing, and now.
If it hits it. Yeah, exactly. You're still gonna die.
The cannon shot shoots upward, misses,
Of course.
and then the second cannon clips you and you start spinning.
Just as I planned.
Haven't had this much sun since what?
And you have no control. What would
If
you
we
like
weren't
to do?
gonna die, this
to
would
start
be a lot
rowing.
more
We're
fun.
out of the 2 islands.
You're still within, but like your boat could potentially flip over at any second, and there's a hole in the water now.
Everyone looks down.
Everyone needs to make me a dexterity saving, a dexterity or acrobatics or athletics check to avoid flying out.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. I've been waiting for that all day. 22.
I got a
22.
Yeah.
What? 15? Okay. 22.
22.
So as we're all going there, like, okay. Well, she hit one of us. Ubatu.
Alright. You are now able to take actions again. It is 2-2.
Then just fly us out of here, for Pete's sakes.
You hear down, like, you can't hear, but like you see down, like, the pirates are reloading their cannons.
Toss me.
What?
I want you to toss me.
You can toss yourself further than anyone else can.
Don't me over.
Dude,
Just Master Chief.
Yeah. How far are they underneath us?
Roughly 100 feet or so.
Cast heat metal on myself.
Just lock up.
Q. I'm tossing you.
Huh?
What?
What?
Actually, never mind. I have something heavier than you. And release the anchor right above them.
Oh.
All right. What kind of a check do you think it would be for
That's
you
an
to do
attack
that?
roll.
No, yeah, it's an attack roll. What modifier do you think you should add to that?
It's brains.
Intelligence.
I'm using intelligence.
Intelligence?
Yes,
Yes,
know what,
yes,
anything?
time the landing. Time to
Just
drop.
add intelligence, nothing else.
Calculate.
Because you're definitely not proficient in
Nope.
this.
I'm proficient in
And
bullcrap.
I'm going to say that this is evasive maneuvers right here. This will determine her AC.
Roll at the same time, right? Is what you're doing?
Yep. I'm waiting for him to get
Captain
out.
Zephyr, guide me, please.
Go.
I tell you, this is not the best because they
That's
knock
a-
each other.
What? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Here.
Even if they hit each other, it's like they still roll.
They still roll,
Hey, listen
but
here, buddy.
one
That was
lands
potential
first and
18.
changes.
You know what we got? Not an 18.
It's higher than last time.
What is it?
5 plus 4, so 9. But guidance?
I can't use guidance, right?
Yes, you can. This one is an attack roll.
Oh, that went gone under the table. 3. 12.
So grand total.
12.
Yeah, 12.
Get a 3 with it. Thanks.
She got a 3. He literally called it.
10. As you just like are right over here, like quick thinking, Flint like steers the ship to like be right over it, and then wanker, just like drops it completely.
Wait.
Anchor falls
Do you see
and
that?
crashes
See what?
straight down onto onto center deck. Huge suddenly like those ships start slowing considerably as water starts flowing in. It's definitely a manageable amount, but men have to get off of the oars, and like they're just slowed down in general, and she starts falling behind, and like the next volley of cannon fire just like flies up and falls down, not even getting close enough to hit her, 10 feet off.
So we lost her ring.
Good thing we lost her. Bad thing, I can't stop us.
Why would we need to stop?
We'll reach that bridge when we get to it.
And you look over, see the burning ship off in the distance. The big slow ship is stuck in the squall, just like barely staying afloat. And Esmeralda is like slow, like lagging the water behind you. And you just look over, and just like as the ships fade from view, and you are safe.
Wow. Seems you can't trust many on the ocean. Is that correct?
Can't trust anyone.
I feel like I could have
You
drove the
used to
ship
be
better.
able to.
Those days are past. Now we're in the capitalism age.
That is not why, but okay.
The age of
We've got the Somali pirates out here.
Just gonna continue to steer and get back onto the gravity lines and just full speed ahead. Get out of here.
All right.
Just
We should get some cannons for your ship.
Why did you pick this ship? No armor. No explosives.
He's got some armor.
Not enough.
have you been on a
By
ship
the way,
before?
your ship's armor class is 15.
Okay,
For any
15.
time that matters is 15.
It's like, have you ever had a ship?
I did actually. This is the one I crashed.
Well, it wasn't your ship. This
First
isn't.
one belonged to Sylph.
Technically, it was his for all of about 3 seconds.
Technically, I bought that ship for us to travel. So again, it was my ship.
No, Mr. B bought it, so collectively it was our ship.
No, not
I'm
really.
sorry, that particular ship belonged to Sylph always.
I bought the ship. Just very holding tight, like white knuckle onto the wheel.
Like, about to kill Burning Whisper.
Yes, just Burning Whisper. If you say one more word about how I control this ship,
I just
or
slap
how
my
I do
leg
it,
and say, "Oh, whatever. I'm starving." And I
Inside check.
I started looking for something to eat under the boat. Or
Under the boat.
Stocks.
it has been stocked recently.
Use the anchor chain to.
That's how we'll stop the
What's
ship. I'll
inside
jump
check?
down the anchor chain.
if
Your chain got dropped too.
Oh, okay.
Like how's
Flynn
it go?
doesn't
like this?
want to
You gotta
kill
let go of
anyone.
all of it or nothing like it's.
But there is
You
a
had 6 seconds to
anger
get that ready.
boiling in him right now.
makes sense.
That's just white knuckle holding on to it. Burning Whisper speaks, and he just gets very angry, and is just
Before I come back up with a loaf of bread, or serving of bread, I'm like, all right, where are we going next?
Toast his bread for him.
I was about to say some toast.
just everyone shut up and let me think right now.
What's his problem?
He told you to shut up.
Just gonna
I will turn this boat around.
hard turn to try to knock some sense into this one. Just gonna try to steer the change the mass, so just tries to knock in.
All right, sailing check for attack roll.
Can I make a dex save? Acrobatics.
No, this is an attack roll. No, actually, a dex save would probably be appropriate. Yeah. He's setting the
Acrobatics?
DC here. Dex save.
16.
16.
Fail.
Doesn't hit me anyways.
Well, this is well, you asked for a saving throw.
What is it? I got a 15.
All right, you're smacked by the sail. Take 1 bludgeoning damage.
That's right. Gonna bring it back in.
I don't have to.
Anyone else want to make a comment while I'm at the wheel?
Maybe we should ask Mr. B for
You
a new
handled that
captain.
situation well.
Thank you, Q.
That was freaking crazy.
I just got. Have you guys seen the VeggieTales version of Lord of the Rings?
No.
You just got. I just like you were Larry the freaking elf. That's the vibes I got. Well, that was freaking crazy.
Just gonna continue.
I said it in Russian accent. How do I sound like
Larry the comrade.
This is how it goes.
I am Larry the comrade.
I am Larry Comrade.
Larry the Q comrade.
Just gonna. Everyone, get somewhere quiet and just breathe and think. Q, not Q. Burning Whisper, don't say a word.
I'm gonna
Why
grab
doesn't it
Burning
make
Whisper and
Minecraft
say
eating
with me.
noises?
I'm just gonna like pull you a little bit.
Where are we going?
I go to the front of the ship. Enjoy the view.
I'm just gonna sit down on the deck and just start tinkering with stuff.
As you're tinkering, like just like thoughts about the gravity squall, like sometimes like pop up, like it looked like that looked exactly like what happens when a magic circle has or like some sort of or artifice has an overload of power that doesn't have anywhere to go and it just exploded. Like the degree of patterns that you saw there were so large that like it's really it keeps bothering you, and and as you're tinkering with the stuff, just like you keep that that thought keeps going through your head occasionally. That was a long story. I'm sorry, everybody.
That's fine.
I do that too.
I'm gonna go up to where Flynn is and just be like, I need to talk to you about, would you call it a squall? A swell? What was it?
A squall, yes. Gravity
Squall.
squalls.
It was very interesting because I could tell where they were going to flare up because it looked like magic that was out of control, like almost like an artifice that had too much magic put into it. And so have you ever been in one of those before? And is it always like that? Because I could almost tell from the flow of magic where things were going to happen. That's why I could guide you. But, are they normally like that? How does all the floating islands and stuff, and the floating ships and things like that work? Is it based on a magic, or is it just a pure natural occurrence?
Just gonna release his bare knuckle grip on the wheel and just... I'm very tired. It's something interesting for sure. But I'm currently not in the mood to talk about it, unfortunately. Maybe after a little bit we can talk about it.
See anything? Just
Okay,
looking over
it makes sense. I'm just
You
going
in the
to
front.
waddle away pretty much.
It's like he still has very like high levels of like stress,
The cortisol
but
levels are very
angry. Like anger just on him, just
His blood pressure. Your blood
not
pressure.
right now. Maybe later we can talk about this.
Okay.
It's like when you go up to someone, you can tell there's just like, You've never seen Flynn for the short time that you've been with him, this level of angry, but he's at a level of angry.
I'm just gonna go start tinkering with stuff on the deck again and kind of start thinking about that, like looking at the patterns, like what it reminded me of, and maybe try and almost determine like what causes the squalls and like, or like kind of like maybe think about the information that I already know on the dragon scene, like what I read in books and stuff, and like how things work, and see if I can almost figure out why those squalls happen.
I'm gonna need you to make me an Arcana check. All day, guys.
25.
All right, so so first off, to compare this to what you've seen of the Dragon Sea, what you've seen in red talks about like the islands moving around in the gravity anomalies. Those are the main things that are talked about there. The anomalies like come in various different categories. Like squalls are one that you read very briefly on and didn't really consider too much because it was said that they were uncommon and dangerous, and that was about it. There are constant currents. There are islands that just kind of float around and like leave their own little bubble of a current, I guess you could say. And then there are what they call gravitational updrafts that just like push that like you fall up and it's constant and it's like a controlled and a completely predictable squall. Like all of those are the things that you focus more on, but like that's basically what you knew about it before. As you're thinking about this though, the squall does not seem to fit in with the categories of just different types. It seems to belong in a completely different school of science than just different categories of navigation skills. Like it exploded like a magic circle that was drawn wrong. Like if there was a blockage in a magic circle that for some sort of spell, it would result in an explosion relatively similar to that. It was almost as if like the flow, like the threads of the weave had gotten tangled, and then an explosion is the result. An explosion that takes the form of a also malformed magic circle. And that was what that gravity looked like. It was like the gravity flows almost seemed like lines of a magic circle that you couldn't see, channeling all of it from like going off and channeling the power, but then in a very poor and explosive way.
Makes sense. Duger is just gonna whip out a notebook and kind of write down his thoughts really quickly, just to like take note of them so he doesn't forget.
So, did that make sense? Do you have any questions? Because like you rolled high, I want to give you understandable information.
Actually, that made pretty good sense.
Do you have any follow-up questions?
A follow-up question.
I will let you roll another Arcana check if you wish, because you.
Was there?
I do have a.
Could I maybe tell
Three of
where
them,
like
actually.
think back and like was there like maybe a source of this? And like there was a pattern to it, but could I tell maybe where that pattern was coming from, thinking back on it?
This will be a significantly higher DC check. Roll me a history check and an arcana check.
Okay. There's my arcana, and that is a 26. And the history check. That's a natural 1 plus 5, so it's a 6.
Alright, you can't remember basically at all. But based off of your knowledge of Arcana, you would need something to have caused that sort of effect. There would be a cause. It wouldn't necessarily, like, you can't remember where it could have come from, but you know there must have been something that caused it.
Makes sense.
And there probably would have been warning signs too. Alright. Anything else on this topic before we move on?
Just steering into safety.
Alright.
I'm sitting in the boat.
Flynn, as you steer the boat within these islands heading for the main current, you predict that you'll get to the main current in just a little while. Burning Whisper, you're just chilling on the front of the boat for a while, eating your snack. When you look out and you see something off in the distance, like it's like just specks at first. But then as you guys get slowly closer and closer, and you see an enormous entire field, like very large field of floating rocks and other sky ships, all floating off in one of two directions. Like the entire width of this thing looks like it's an entire mile across both ways.
Flynn! 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 Did I start running over? Flynn! I just come up there and I'm like, Flynn!
What?
Put the, no, right now. Look! And I point over towards this giant mass of
You see it. You know it. You were heading for this. This is your destination. This is the main current.
Does it look...
It looks normal.
Okay, just don't worry about it. It's where I was heading.
to a bunch of floating rocks.
Unlike some people, I know how to steer a ship through rocks.
Well, you don't
So,
have to be mean about it.
as you guys look over, this is an incredibly large thing. Like, you've been in gravity currents before, you've been in consistent ones that you've sailed on in order to get places. This thing is on an entirely different scale. This thing is so huge that there are entire fleets of, like, trading fleets sailing in the sky through it and not even getting close to bumping another ship. Getting through the rocks isn't too hard. Like, there are random smaller sky islands floating around in there and occasionally larger ones. But just like, the space that you can float in is so huge that the chances of bumping them are just non-existent. This is the main gravity current, of the Dragon Sea, connecting the Carabao, the Northern Isles, and Oceania circles and regions together. It is also the main point of transport between between different regions of the Dragon Sea. The only way to get there in any reasonable time period.
Were we not heading north?
We still are.
Okay.
We just need to take a little stop, repair the ship. I also am very hurt from that blast.
Yes, I am also not feeling the greatest. I have... Oh. Why do I have one level of exhaustion?
The magic
you didn't
thing.
sleep last night, but then you took a long rest, so it should be gone now.
Oh, interesting.
I'm also going to talk with Finn. Be like, Finn, I normally don't condone this, but he's on my nerves. So, I will let certain things slide.
I hear this, right? I'm right next to it.
He says this telepathically.
Oh.
Just don't steal the sword.
Finn just is going to hold up a dagger that you recognize that Burning Whisper has carried.
I was carrying a dagger.
Just
You seem mad, so I got this for you.
I can't be mad at you, Finn. Thank you. Just gonna store it on the side and just... Today only, I'll let it slide. Maybe other days.
All right. Cute. As you're sailing and this comes into view, like you look at the majestic view in front of you for a moment, but then something seems off to you. As you look back around, like you notice off in the distance a small, like something, a speck off in the distance, the opposite direction of the current from the direction that you guys came.
It's a fly.
As you look at it, trying to make it out, it looked like for a second it's hard to make out details, but then it starts resolving into a little bit of a vaguely draconic shape.
And it looks organically moving.
Roll a perception check if you want to find out that. You're far away.
I'm praying and be like, please don't be who I think you are. That's my prayer.
I have 15 health left, guys.
Don't worry. I have
16.
As you're looking out over it, organically moving, kind of. It is moving like a living being should, but not in the like the movements are, yes, movements that living beings make, but not the way that they make them. Like it's off.
It's like too consistent to.
Yeah, too consistent and
It's false.
yeah, false life looking thing.
I'm gonna go.
You also seem to make it like there seems to be something on the dragon thing, the draconic thing.
Yeah.
It's very small, like you're barely able to see it.
Yes,
You have your spyglass, yes?
I do.
Yeah, I see it. I think I see something.
Point where?
That way.
As you look out, you're impressed that you saw this because you're barely able to see it. Like you're barely able to make it out with this thing.
Maybe I should.
There is a white dragon flying in your direction. It doesn't appear to be trying to gain, but it is flying towards you.
it's like
It's also missing a chunk of its jaw.
May I take a look?
I don't think you want to. There's.
Elucidate us.
We need to quickly get to shore. There is a injured white dragon following behind us.
what do you mean by injury?
Its jaw seems to be hanging low or missing.
Yep.
And I am not in a physical or mental state to deal with a dragon today.
Would it attack if we're on such a highway of commerce here? Or the
Judging
numbers scare
upon
enough?
our friends we've made so far, I feel like anything will attack us at any point.
You do have a fair point.
Eli, while on this thing, like you're not perfectly safe from piracy, but it is a lot less likely. It's usually like the entry and the exit points that get raided by pirates.
This last stretch will be tough, as pirates still try to attack us. I don't
Okay.
want to take our run with the dragon. I want to get to shore safely. Just continue.
Just 1 second.
As you keep on going and see it, like you're watching it off, and it never seems to get any closer, but it always stays close enough to be able that you're just barely able to see it.
I'm gonna sentry watch that thing.
You may make one more perception check.
$26.
As you're looking off, like you see a little glint in the air. And as you try to place what you've seen like that, like you're just like watching, like looking over to like sort of flame wells of what you see there, because that's the darkest items. And then the speck like seems to start getting smaller and then disappears.
Flynn, may I please see the spyglass for 1 second? I will not harm it.
The last couple of days, I've been able to trust a lot of people, so I currently would like to keep things on my person
I
right
believe
now.
there's a person on that dragon using a spyglass to look at us, and I'd like to verify that.
You can't see a thing.
Is it like a common tactic for pirates to use like an illusion to cover up their ship?
Pirates absolutely use illusions to cover their ship. This dragon seems like it'd be too small to cover up an entire ship. It looks like young dragon.
I'm just gonna.
I take it
Just knuckle
very
over.
professionally in my blacksmith's hands. Can I have a better look at it? I mean, or maybe that was like the more perception.
As you look off trying to see it a little bit better, like trying to find it, it has pretty much vanished. You may make one investigation check and only one in order to try to search it out now that you don't know exactly where it is based on the spec.
You just did by speed.
Yes, not perception. Investigation.
18.
You catch a glimpse of this thing, and with the spyglass you can see a lot better. This thing is this dragon looks severely injured. Like it should not be flying right now. And there is indeed a person on its back. They're wearing full plate armor, so you can't see very much of them, and carrying a very large, scary looking, a very large sword on their back.
I want that plate armor.
The sword is actually the only thing, the thing that draws your attention. As much as you will admire that plate armor, that sword scares you.
I feel no man.
But that's
That
the thing.
thing.
It also looks like something made of far better craftsmanship than you've seen any weapon made ever. Like, it doesn't look like it could have been made by a mortal. And then you, like, as it goes on, like, you lose sight of it again and don't see it.
I lower it. Were there any other swords that were mentioned by Mr. B?
Do I hear?
Yeah, you hear this. Everybody hears this.
I wouldn't say that Mr. B mentioned any, but I know of a couple.
The rider of that dragon seems to be. I'll hand him the spyglass.
Thank you.
For one thing, the dragon does not. It appears to be too injured to fly, and yet it is flying in a very unnatural manner. I believe magic may be involved. In addition, the exquisite plate armor and sword of that person, that sword, something otherworldly about it, and it is very off-putting. Lastly, I believe you need corrective lenses.
What?
If you look through that, you can't see it, man. I can see in so much detail.
What did the sword look like particularly?
It was a great sword with, the sheath it was in was pretty much, like, wasn't really much of a sheath. It was just, like, leather straps so you could see the sword exactly. No, you have to say this yourself.
Okay.
You can't get away with that here.
You can't get away with that. No! It was curved slightly, and the blade was... half of it looked pure black, the other one looked bone white, like bleached bones.
The sword was slightly curved and not in a scabbard but in a frog. You know what that means, right? A frog is like, it's a thing we put a sword that leaves the blade dangling out. It's called frog. I don't know why it's called a frog.
Cool, I didn't know that either.
I learned that when I
Good word.
did Three Musketeers in high school. Anyways, and I don't know if that's real, but it is. And lastly, the blade appears to be split into two halves, one bone white and the other pitch black.
Does this remind me of any of those blades I learned about in the library?
You didn't get physical descriptions of any of those blades. The Weave Render, the Black Razor, the Blade of Annihilation, all of them, no physical descriptions.
Yep.
But you're pretty sure none of those swords were two-handed swords,
Okay.
based off of the very brief descriptions you got.
Well, this seems like another sword to me, maybe.
It couldn't be Gabriel.
Now his sword's green.
Yeah. His sword is different, and he's not in plate
Draw
armor.
the sword so I can have it for later.
All right. You make a quick sketch and get it down. It's actually a pretty good one, and everyone has a fairly decent idea of what it looks like.
Because I'm a blacksmith. I know how to make things.
None of you guys recognize it though.
I'll drink to that.
You like drinking, huh?
He loves.
He likes drinking liquid of any kind. Like,
I love water.
What is this?
Hydrochloric acid.
Nice, and that's water. And he drinks all of the random sodas and waters.
What's your favorite bottled water?
Arrowhead.
I agree.
Alright.
Aaron's good.
Y'all should sponsor us.
Aaron, we would love a sponsor.
All right.
This time.
It's not the cheapest type.
Kirkland's signature.
That's what you like? Dude, that stuff tastes horrible.
Something nasty, bro.
Sheep.
I don't drink
I drink
any bottled
tap.
It's
water.
nice to my.
All right. Anyways.
Sorry.
All right. So, yeah, that happened.
Okay.
Alright, well.
How much longer until we'll be there?
I
Shouldn't be.
believe we should make our stop, resupply, fix the ship, do what we need to, and continue on our way.
Indeed.
Yes.
All right. Enter the islands you get to go in, enter into the main current, you're able to join it, and
Artlist
after
IO.
a little while they cross out and continue on their way, now going into the shifting straits.
The writer.
The random islands that you were... No,
Okay.
you don't see the dragon thing at all. The islands that you were following to get here. You sail on towards your destination.
Music
A little ways
licensing
outside of the-
reimagined.
Northern Isles, there is a true island, a real one, that is more of a gigantic spire of stone and earth that just sticks out really tall. Basically, think Burke, and that's a pretty accurate description of what it looks like. It is known as a trading post.
Yes.
You've never been here yourself, but you've heard of it, and it seems like it could be a good place to get repairs and restock.
Okay. Just gonna try to
Artlist
navigate
IO.
towards the nearest open port dock. Just steer my way in, get in, repair, get out. Just mumbling under his breath, just get in, get out, get in, get out.
I'm doing what little repairs I can do with mending and my
Same.
ability to fix things.
All right.
I'm gonna come
Music
bother you.
licensing
I don't wanna ask you.
reimagined.
Say, Duger, you know how like the shifting straits nobody can like sail them?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I understand. What, since you saw those patterns to get us through that back there, could you theoretically take us through the shifting straits?
No, I don't think I could. There was something very weird about that squall. It wasn't natural.
Artlist IO.
Something caused it. That's why I could tell the pattern, because it seemed like it was a magic circle or a magic circuit that went wrong. And that's why I could tell where...
Specifically, that got overloaded with
That-
magic power.
That got overloaded with magic power. So, I think the only reason that I could really tell... and get
Music
us through that
licensing
was because it
reimagined.
wasn't natural.
And who's to say the shifting straits is not the same?
I believe the shifting straits is more natural. From the things that I read, if I can remember...
The shifting traits haven't been studied very much, but it is taken for granted that they're a natural phenomenon.
And the
Wait, what
squalls.
do you mean taken for granted? Like...
How are you going to prove it?
I'm not. There's no proof that says that shifting straits is a natural phenomenon.
And the squalls?
And most squalls are natural phenomena.
They are also taken as every single one of these things.
Like, didn't you say that all natural squalls that don't occur because of something?
You've only ever seen one squall. You're relying off of reports that take it all for granted that it's natural, and one actual encounter.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to change my answer. Retcon.
Wait a second.
No, you could. This could be like you're considering and thinking as.
You're
this
just like,
is.
oh wait,
Okay,
maybe.
well, perhaps it could be possible. No, I think back on what I've read and the things that I've also seen during the squall. That squall was completely predictable, but I couldn't determine a specific source or location of what was causing the squall. And the book said that squalls were completely natural and unpredictable. The thing is, I've only experienced one, and not much research has been done into the squalls. So the shifting straits could very well be something similar.
And it might be put onto a list of checking out.
It very well could be. But the shifting states are also extremely dangerous. And if I can't navigate them and predict them,
We got a rowboat.
we might not be able to make it out, even only 10 minutes in.
It's really easy to get lost there.
So, it would be one of those things that we do once we have more experience. Once I have more experience with more things. Who knows, maybe if we run into another squall, which they are extremely rare.
No, they're not.
I thought you said squalls were rare.
Yeah, but they're on my random encounter table.
Oh, never mind.
There's a 1 in 20 chance every
Just
time you roll a
unlikely.
random encounter that could happen.
Just unlikely.
Like,
They're
unlikely.
extremely unlikely.
They're unlikely,
No,
but not extremely rare. Like, you'll encounter a couple if you sail for long enough.
Okay. And if we run into another squall that I can tell is not going to be caused by pirates or something, like there's not a chance of that, and I can still predict it, we can maybe assume that the shifting states are similar.
Are you assuming the pirates keep starting squall?
I'm not assuming it, but I am including it as a possibility, and that's why it was predictable. Because it felt too organized, yes. Despite it being a completely disorganized mess, it felt too organized for something that happens completely naturally. So, of course, there is also a natural order to magic and the weave and all sorts of things. So, it almost felt like the weave got tangled during that time. And so I don't know if it was completely natural or if it was something that they caused by tangling a weave. But I don't know yet. I'll have to experience another squall to tell.
Then perhaps we could cause them if we tangle the weave.
Perhaps, but it takes a lot of magic, and I don't know if I particularly have the skill set to be able to do that.
If I were to bet on anyone having the skill set, it would be Duger. He's chaotic
Yes.
and able to use magic. I think if anyone could tangle the weave on his own, it would be Duger. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that, like, out of character, that'd be hilarious if if anyone was to be a bet on it, I would bet on Duger.
I would like to attempt it. I lend my magic to.
I appreciate that.
As long as it's not directly centered on us.
Oh, it won't be. I'm already thinking of a way to do it.
Okay. I have concern.
Magical boxes.
No, not magical
Oh,
box.
Wonder Woman.
Magical power source, a very big one that they send out of control. Anyway.
It's like a nuclear reactor with some other shit. Overloaded.
Exactly.
Steel ship power.
I am Russian, so I'm constantly searching for nuclear weapons.
All right,
True
so
Russians do that.
you guys start sailing into the gigantic island, and you start coming up on it. There doesn't appear to be a particularly well-organized bay or anything like that. Most of the structures on it are homes and businesses and things like that. And you see a shockingly small number of, like, regulation things. Like, you don't see docks, you don't see a central area where you would check in or pay for stopping. People just kind of seem parked wherever. You also notice there are lots of smaller dragon-like creatures all over this thing. It's Burke.
This is Bart.
This is not Burke. This is the training post. Burke is somewhere else.
Oh.
Flynn is just gonna wide-eye those dragons. Just
You've heard about this, but being right near it is a completely different thing. Like, those things look like they're dangerous and could tear your mask off.
yeah, no, he's very afraid right now. Just just gonna try to go where the as far away as he can from a dragon and just park far away from them.
All right. After a while, you're trying to find a spot. You just can't find anything. You eventually realize they're congregating in the sun, and at that point, you go over towards a shady spot, find a spot, and there's no dragons in the area. By the way, none of them look like true dragons. They're dragon creatures.
Still terrified. Just,
all right, and you manage to take just pull up very carefully and pull up right next to it, and then tie yourself on because your anchor is no longer there.
yeah, we don't have one of those anymore.
We can buy a new anchor eventually.
I can forge us one.
All right. You're a little ways off from the population center, but you're
Anchor technology in it.
Just gonna.
Heat sinking anchor.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
We need a new anchor.
Well, I am aware of that. I have a list of things we need to get.
What if we made a new anchor and then I infused it with a repeating shot?
What's repeating shot?
What do you think repeating shot is?
Unlimited anchor bombs.
I, as DM, rule no.
No! Just, okay. We need to make repairs on the ship.
Not makes sense.
We need to restock some of our provisions. We need to try to find a replacement anchor or a temporary anchor. And
Galty.
Tie a 50-foot long rope a piece to it. And
I don't
just
think
drop
that
it
50
over.
it wouldn't hold in.
Chain.
Just, I think,
Just put his collar on.
as much as I don't want to be here long, I think it might take us maybe a day for repairs.
Should we split up and try to find things quicker?
Say, Flynn, wouldn't
Someone
it
else has
be
to fix the
a
ships.
good idea to also like put on
We
some
can
sort
start
of
board
armor
fix
on
the ship
the
and they
boat?
can go out. Well,
Oh,
actually,
With
before
what money?
Whisper into the wild.
I figured
sound
this
like
would
him.
gave you enough for maybe
It
a
makes sense. As
little-
long as
No,
it's
you
the
can't
tip.
just armor about like
It's
you.
gonna cost
you
one
said
gold
we should
piece
make-
per hit point to repair.
You can't just.
How much
Here.
gold did we get from the last thing from getting the bounty? It was 1,000, right? So 250 pieces.
If you didn't record it, I don't remember.
Did you guys record it at all?
I did.
I wasn't there when you guys went. Oh wait, I was.
They
You
gave
were.
it all to you, right?
Yeah.
You haven't.
I have it. Because you haven't been given any of your money either.
I thought I
I
shared
have
with
been
everybody.
buying stuff for
I
the
thought I
entire
grabbed it.
party.
Oh,
By the way,
haven't.
Burning Whisper, you have 10 less gold.
I have 10 more gold.
You do indeed. We'll actually have 9 more gold.
How sad
You
would
have
you
one
be
more.
if I killed you?
Yes.
I literally would be physically weaker. I'm soul-bound to my monkey.
So
Familiars are a little piece of
pretty
your soul.
easy to kill these monkeys with a big knife.
I'm gonna just start reaching into my bag and finding anything that's out there. So
I'm gonna.
Okay, we're gonna be talking in a little bit. Okay.
I feel like we did
I'm
that
gonna
already.
ask you for
Yeah,
my
that was
portion
my
of the
concept.
bounty at some point, since I need money.
But I'm gonna just start kind of
At some point. When's at some
value
point?
Right now.
and
All right. So
things that are gold and giving them to you. But I'm
you have
specifically
collected.
looking
So
at jewels.
as you go over through there, like in terms of gold, you've collected 1,500 gold pieces worth, like gold pieces worth of gold specifically.
I will give you 250 gold pieces worth of whatever.
He just hands you a gold bar, pretty much.
This is heavy.
I never thought
I just
about
want to play
It feels
rubber,
just
guys.
barely light enough that Finn could possibly move it.
Okay. Just gonna. Thank you. This is. I don't know if my bags can really hold. I mean, they probably can. I'm just gonna put it in my bag. Okay.
Man, I need money.
You should make friends with the monkey.
No! I want to get the money from the bounty that we all collected.
Well, currently I'm in a bad mood. She might not get that money.
Would you like me to be in a bad mood?
I'm on Q's Kiwi's side, so we could tie you up and do unholy things to you.
I am not going that far.
Not unholy, but mean things.
You could invite a dragon to visit the ship. There's a lot of those here.
Good idea, DM. I'm going to bring a
Unfortunately, you can't take my advice because I'm not here. I
We're
like
going
making fun
to
of
make plans. Yes. Best to split up. We can get supplies, find things out. Yes, split up. Look around.
I thought we were going to be here just a short time.
Just for the day. Get supplies, come back, restock, fix up the ship, and be on our merry way.
I will stay on the ship and make repairs as best I can. I am
Start
Smith.
wondering.
I will also stay here and try and make some repairs on the ship.
If y'all bring them materials, then you can take half price because they'll provide light labor.
Just,
We'll go get some materials and do that.
I'm
Can
gonna
you have some
go.
money so we can get materials? Can I have
Oh.
money?
Give me a second. Gonna go into the ship, go into my captain's quarters, which I don't deserve right now. Gonna go into it and open the chest that has all the gold. Like, okay. I go get a
I
nice
pull
pouch.
out the extra bounty I had, seeing how much it was, and divide it by 4.
I'm just gonna I think this should be enough for the repairs. I'm gonna give you 150. Yes.
I don't like Flynn being in a bad mood.
Mm-mm.
Bounty was 1,000 gold, correct?
It was a little
bounty
more.
and hold up.
Subtract 50 gold from yourself.
Finn.
Yeah, Finn's ticked off with you right now.
He can't be!
Q, the monkey's going to, without any attempt at stealth, walk up to you with a bag of coin, like dragging a bag across the deck, and just like put it right by your foot.
I'm gonna grab it, reach down at the monkey.
It's got 50 gold in it.
You are a good monkey.
Finn knows very well why I'm in a very bad
and
mood.
a gentle pat. You are a good monkey.
Say,
I'm not like keeping it. I'm keeping it in a safe location. It's not like this is all my money. It's we're using this. I'm just being.
Dog, I need to save some money. I need plate armor.
Well, that's why it's in the chest.
How much
so
is
we
a
could
full
just
set
go
of plate
take our
cost?
share of the bounty
1,000.
from your chest.
No. It was 1,500.
It might be, I don't remember. I just made
It's
up a number.
so much.
It was 2,000.
You want me to buy you some plate armor?
Yes.
I'm going to look up right now so we don't have any
I'm
questions on how
Pretty
much
sure
plate
it's
armor is.
1,500.
Oh, 50.
What if we bought the materials to make plate armor?
It would take a long time to do, but you could do it. It costs 1,500 gold pieces. If you attempt to want to make it, it will cost half of that, but it will take lots of time.
How much time?
It will take at least.
The rules is written it's 50 gold per day. How much of value thing you can work on something, so that would be.
We're going with those.
Oh.
Should have said it.
It's like a month.
Okay, in that case, that's kind of stupid.
Wait, let me.
Okay.
That's
Dude,
real.
honestly, plate armor is ridiculously expensive. Let me see. It was 1,500?
Alright, give me a second. I am going to do math.
Yeah, that's 30 days.
It's 1,500, but then divide that by 2. Because it's half the price.
But it's still the value of the thing you're making, not the price of the thing. But we can use that.
That's BS. Half that time.
So 15 days, 2
I don't
weeks.
mind magical item. He's on the
That's
makes.
crazy.
You'll have to take down. You know what?
What if we
You
were
can
working on it
complete
together?
it. You can complete it if you guys work on it together. You can complete it in 1 week downtime.
Okay, when we have downtime.
You guys choose when you have downtime. I will never give
You
it to
agree.
you.
I see.
This is an act like
Can you
the
make
downtime
me
is
a
basically
bag
an
of
extra long rest.
What?
You guys
Can you
choose.
make me
I
a
don't
bag
give
of
it to you.
holding?
Unfortunately, I don't think we can work on it
How
on
much
the
is a bag of
ship.
holding?
There's not a forge on the boat.
You would have to
Expensive,
equip the
I'm
boat
pretty
for
sure.
that if you want me to do that.
So
You
stupid.
could do that.
Can we equip the boat with a forge?
It'd be freaking expensive to do, but you could. He requested that if he equipped with a lab so he could work on some stuff.
Just get a whole bunch
Has
of
been.
rocks and put it on the deck.
But-
So also have magical fire.
Just create
On a
bonfire
boat.
with your
On a wooden ship.
We'll make the room made of knotwood.
Metal melts and then burns the wood.
I'm not melting this metal, I'm melting this. I'm using ceramics. I don't know.
I know what you're
Alright.
doing. I get it.
But alright,
What else
so
is it?
you guys have arrived at the island of Trude, and I think that this would be a good place to end this session for the day.
Alright.
Oh boy.
Thank you all for watching today's episode. We'll find out what happens next time with Grumpy Flynn and people upset that he's not giving more money.
How far?
Because
can
your
I
plate
push?
armor's so expensive.
How
I'm not going to
little?
use immediately. I'm going to start saving up.
Well, it's in a savings chest.
I want mine in my savings chest.
Well, no.
I know you're monkey.
Okay. He shouldn't have given him the money.
Finn is going to keep stealing from you until you give it to people.
I'm
You
keeping
get
it
mad at
safe.
him for being unfair and taking things, and now you're doing. And
'Cause
now he
he's
feels like you're doing the
stealing.
same thing.
I don't steal.
You knocked the guy out with your sword.
And you help me.
And no, I did not.
You did. Actually.
No, Finn helped you. I
you
didn't
helped
help you.
I
was.
think you're talking about different incidents. He's knocked out people with his sword a lot of times. But let us come back next week and see what happens.